It's time for a cancer update. I don't know why I did that. That was weird. But yeah, what better time to do an update than right after shaving? To be fair, I did shave yesterday, but I didn't make a video yesterday. So yeah, first time making a video since I shaved. And at this point, I used to trim my beard once a week and, just shave the neck so it would look good. At this point, I don't care. Like, my wife isn't here. I barely go out. I don't need to look good for everyone. I pretty much spend most of my time by myself indoors in the apartment. So I really don't care. It's just easier to just let it grow till it gets kind of uncomfortable or I'm just tired of seeing it in the mirror. And then just shave it off and let it grow back again. So yeah, before we get into the cancer update, I want to mention two things. First of all, little wow, I can't speak today apparently. Little okay, you know what? Let me use a different word. But it's gonna frustrate me that I wasn't able to say it for some reason. A little anecdote. There we go. Very simple to say. I don't know why I couldn't say it before. So, went to the hospital today, got a blood test, saw my oncologist, and on the way home, I decided to stop and grab some groceries and then walk home. That way, I saved having to walk there because the grocery store is on the way home. So, that's what I did. And at the grocery store, I saw one of the ugliest combinations I've ever seen. Now, for those of you who don't live in Canada or in a country where it gets cold during the winter, you may not be aware of this, but living in Canada, there's always this period of the year where it gets colder, but it's not that cold yet, but it's not really that warm anymore. And there's always, weird combinations. Like sometimes you see someone walking down the street, full winter gear, like, hat and the scarf and the gloves and the winter jacket and everything. And then you see another person walking, sometimes right behind them, wearing shorts and a t-shirt. And sometimes you see a single person with weird combinations, such as shorts and a winter jacket. But the ugliest combination I've seen so far was today. I saw someone wearing a winter jacket with Crocs. By the way, depending on where you live in the world, if you don't know what Crocs are, they're basically the ugliest shoes slash sandals in the entire world. If you don't know what they look like, just go ahead and Google it. So yeah, that was definitely the ugliest combination I've ever seen. I'm sure there's uglier combinations out there, but to be honest, I don't think I want to see it. Although I'm kind of curious, but yeah, I wouldn't want to see that. So, before I get to the second point, I just want to mention something else. I may seem more energetic, more happy today. And the reason for that is not because I slept better last night. In fact, I don't know why for the last couple of days, I've been really lazy, having no motivation, and I just pretty much waste the entire day in bed just watching YouTube shorts, which is not something that I do. Like, there was a reason why I never consume TikTok content because it's just like endless scrolling and just pointless short videos. And I'm like, I know myself, I'm the type to become addicted to stuff, and there is no value, in my opinion, that comes from that. So I always chose to avoid that, but for some reason, for the last few days, that's what's been happening. And as a result of that, for some reason, I don't know, I've been staying up later and I'm just not sleeping as well. So, last night I stopped at around 11, tried to go to sleep at around 11. Um, Probably end up actually falling asleep around 1, and then I had to wake up at 6:30 this morning to have time to, shower and brush my teeth and eat breakfast and everything before going to the hospital. So that's not why I'm more happy, more energetic. And I think it's because today I was outside. Even though yes, it's cold, and at this point I don't really know how well my body reacts to cold. I don't know if it's good for me to be outside and get some fresh air, or if it's bad for me to have cold in my lungs, if it's gonna make things worse, if I'm gonna, fall sick again and, be out of it for a couple weeks like it happened twice in the last few months. So it's like I'm kind of testing things out. So I'm not really sure, but just being outside, just having fresh air, like it feels so good. Even though in the moment, like, yeah, it's cold, it sucks, but I feel like it's actually really good for me. So I'm going to try to, at least for the time being, while it's still not too cold. Like today when I left for the hospital, I think it was -1, something like that. So it's starting to get cold, but it's not like full winter, like snow everywhere and like -30 degrees. So it's like, it could be worse, you know? So yeah. The second point that I wanted to mention is I am aware that some people want more content focused on the cancer, on the treatments that I'm getting, on the results of the scans that I'm getting, and just getting more updates when it comes to the cancer itself, as opposed to what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing as a result of the cancer. However, the reason why I haven't been doing that and the reason why I can't do that is because there's nothing to talk about. My immunotherapy treatments are every 3 weeks. I already focused an entire video explaining exactly how that process works, and it's the same every single time I do it. There is no point in me repeating that over and over again in the videos. It would just be boring for people watching. And same thing for radiotherapy. I've had radiotherapy twice. One time there was 1 session, one time it was 5 sessions. And I really took the time to go in detail and explain how the entire process works and, all the side effects I got as a result of that and all that. So since I'm not getting radiotherapy anymore and I already explained everything, there's no point in talking about that. When it comes to scans, I get a scan on average every 3 months. So, unless you want me to just make a video every 3 months, there's just nothing for me to talk about when it comes to, specifics about the cancer itself. All I can talk about is just the symptoms, the side effects I'm experiencing as a result of that, which, I mentioned in my videos, such as the coughing, the breathing issues, sometimes pain, stuff like that, the throwing up. But at the end of the day, it's like, been there, done that. We've talked about it so much. There's no point in really going in depth when it comes to that. So that's why I haven't really been focusing on that. And, also, just in general, like things are going relatively well. Like, yes, there's still breathing issues, there's still coughing, but, overall, it's much better than it has been during the last 7 months. Like, everything is slowly getting better. So, it's like there isn't actually that much to talk about. That's why I only make one video every couple of days instead of a video every single day like I used to do. There's just not that much to talk about, which is actually a good thing. Sure, I make less videos, I create less content, which means I get less views, which means I make less money. But I mean, first of all, this was never about making money. And second of all, like it's not enough money to warrant, trying to force myself to create content just for the sake of creating content to try to generate income. Like that simply does not make sense. Plus, I feel like the quality would deteriorate if I do that. That is not my intention. My intention is to authentically share what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing from my perspective. So I just wanted to, take the time to explain that because I know some people have been not necessarily concerned, they've just been wanting more of that type of content. And it's just the situation that I'm in does not allow me to do that, which is very, very good because when I do have that type of content that I'm able to share, it means that things are going bad. And unfortunately, that is how YouTube works. That's how humans work. It's human nature. When things go bad, when I have bad news, I get more views. That's just how it works. So I take it as a good thing that I don't have that much to talk about, that I'm getting less views, that I'm making less money. So yeah, just wanted to take the time to explain that. So go back to the point of this video. I saw my oncologist today, and there's not that much. I was hoping to get the results of the scan I did a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, they don't have the official results yet. However, he said, I did look at the scans, and from what I can see, everything seems stable. So I'll give you the official, verdict next time we see each other in 3 weeks. But for the time being, everything seems stable. Everything is good. In fact, he said, you look good. You seem to be like standing straighter and taller, which is weird because I never felt like I really, slouched. I've always had pretty good posture. So to me, it just seemed weird, but it's like, it's always a very good sign when my oncologist says, you're looking good, because he's always very blunt, always very direct and honest, which I appreciate. So when he says something like this, like you look good, you seem, taller and everything, it's like that is a very good sign. So even though, things aren't necessarily getting better, at least on the, tumor front, the symptoms, the side effects are, yes, slowly, gradually getting better. There are ups, there are downs, there are days that are better than others, but overall, it's slowly getting better. So that's definitely positive. The only negative, which I wasn't really asking, wasn't really expecting, is, he's like, I don't recommend you, getting on a plane right now in your current condition. So, I wasn't expecting him to tell me, like, hey, go ahead, go travel, go spend the holidays with your wife. Like, I wasn't expecting that. And to be fair, money is pretty tight at the moment because for the last few months, employment insurance has been withholding my payments because apparently the way that the agents were declaring my income, which is income from the books I publish, so royalties, as well as income from YouTube. Even though it's not a lot, I still need to declare it so they can, remove that from the money they give me. Well, remove 50% of it. But anyway, apparently the way that we were declaring it in the past was not the correct way. So they had to open, an investigation, and it was supposed to take up to 3 weeks. It's been 2 months. It still hasn't been resolved. Someone called me last week at the start of the week and they're asking me some questions. They're like, this should be resolved by the end of the day tomorrow. I'll give you a call to let you know once everything is resolved. You should get the payments of everything we owe you either Friday or Monday. Today is Monday. Haven't received it yet. I'm going to wait. If by tomorrow I haven't received the payments, I'm going to call back and be like, hey, what's going on? Has the case been resolved? If so, when am I going to get the money? And if not, why has it been delayed again? What's taking so long? Like, how can we resolve this now? Because, I need money. I need to pay my rent. I need to pay for food. Like, I can't keep just living off the little savings that I have, which at this point comes from, money that people have donated, the money that I generated when I was first diagnosed, and I sold whatever little stocks I had left. I had some silver coins that I sold, as well as a little crypto. So it's like that kind of like the savings that I'm currently living off of. But budget is quite limited at the moment, especially since I'm probably gonna have to spend like a good like $2,500 I'm expecting for immigration to submit papers and get some papers translated and stuff like that. So yeah, money is tight at the moment. So definitely not the time to travel, which is why, I didn't even bother to ask my oncologist, hey, am I able to travel in my current condition? So it's like, all right, budget wise, it doesn't really make sense because like a trip to Nicaragua to go see my wife for a couple weeks, maybe a month, we're talking about like at least $3,000 to cover the flights and to cover the expenses over there, such as rent and stuff like that. Plus, I have to keep paying the expenses here, such as rent and internet, electricity, everything. So it's like I just don't have the budget. But even if I did, my college is like, I would not recommend that you travel at the moment. So unfortunately, spending the holidays with my wife will not be possible. I wasn't expecting it to, so it's not like I'm disappointed. Yes, it sucks, but it's part of the process. So anyway, I feel like this was just like a general update on everything. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully this answered any questions you may have. And don't worry, I know that I skipped last month's live, but I'm definitely going to do it this month. Last month I just wasn't really feeling well. I was, dealing with a lot of stuff like the cold and everything. So now I'm feeling better. And, I find that it's important to do those lives. So if you have any questions, you can ask me and I'm able to answer them. And I know I can, that allows me to interact more directly with you. And I really enjoy doing it. So I'm definitely going to make sure to do that this month. So that will be on December 8th. I'll, post something a couple days in advance just to say like, hey, this time, this date, we'll do the live. So that has been the update for pretty much everything. I don't know when my next video will be once again because there's just not that much to talk about lately. But I will definitely keep you up to date on everything that goes on. So thank you for watching and I'll talk to you in the future.